What would life without Terry McLaurin, what would it look like? Try to quantify it if you can. How many fewer games would the team win in 2025 without him? 301-230-0980. This is clearly a reach hypothetical because there's a 95% chance he's going to play for the team, whether he gets a contract extension or not. There's nothing that makes sense about him holding out or the team trading him. It just doesn't make sense to trade him because you're never going to be able to maximize the return in late July or August with a player that's looking to get paid. That always reduces the compensation when you've got to pay the player after trading for the player. From his standpoint, a holdout makes no sense because he'd be in the same boat a year from now if he doesn't play more than half the games this year. Many players don't get the contract extension they're looking for, and they play out the final year of their deal. T. Higgins did it recently, then got franchise tagged last year. So it happens. I think he will still, even today, hold out day number 3 for Terry McLaurin. I think he's going to get a contract extension. I do. But this is a hypothetical that I'm interested in because I really think it will sort of identify what you guys think Terry really is. There are very few player positions other than quarterback that really do impact wins and losses. A menacing defensive player certainly can. A ridiculous running back like Saquon Barkley obviously had an impact. I'll give you my answer right now, and I won't bury the lead. It's one game difference. Tops, one game difference. Instead of winning 11 against the schedule they have this year, they'll win 10 and still be a playoff team. Why? Because of the quarterback. It's the quarterback. Always the quarterback. We've seen what guys like Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, we've seen what they can do without a lot of weapons around them. We've seen what Lamar can do without a lot of weapons around him. He had Derrick Henry last year, of course. Jaden Daniels is in that category. He is for me, and he'll elevate everything around him. Luke McCaffrey, certainly Noah Brown. Michael Gallup will end up being, a player of I'm just throwing names out there, but whoever that group is, people will step up and perform because the quarterback is making them better. The quarterback makes the running game better because he's a dual threat in addition to being a phenomenal in the pocket. I think tops one game difference. I think that's part of their thinking in all of this. Like, what are we doing here if we end up giving him a top 5 wide receiver contract? We might need to do that if we had Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins, the guys that truly need a supporting cast. We don't need to do that with number 5. 301-230-0980. What does it look like without Terry? Try to quantify it. I say at the most, I really wanted to say, as much as I love Terry, it's really not going to be that much of an impact. But there will be an impact. He is a contested catch guy. He is a big game guy. We've seen that at times. He is a deep threat still. So they would miss him. They absolutely would miss him. It would not cost them a playoff berth. It cost them one game, tops. 301-230-0980. Let's start with Skip on line 2. Skip, what do you say?
Kevin, this is the question because you're assessing his value to this team, not his value in the NFL when you talk about top 10 and all that compared to other receivers.
Yeah.
His value to this team, especially since we lost speed. Some of the, receivers that we lost had speed.
Deami.
And we have a rookie with speed. But other than that, Deebo Samuels is like a 4.8 guy. Terry still, at age 29 going on 30, is a legit 4.4 guy. So I believe
Deebo's, just so you know, Deebo's not a 4.8 guy, Skip.
No, I said a 4.48 guy.
Oh, okay. I thought you said a 4.8 guy. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
He's a 4.4. So let's say 4.5.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Phenomenal after the catch when he's healthy.
Absolutely, like a running back. But Terry is a legit, 4.35, which he ran in the combine as a rookie, and probably still 4.4. Still in his prime, like he said, he made a good point that the number of years that he's played is not similar to most 30-year-old guys. He's played 2 years less than most 30-year-old guys. And so he's probably still in his prime. He hadn't had many injuries. And we saw last year, I mean, he could still, like you said, he could still go deep and probably better than anybody else on the team at this point. So we're going to miss that. And, they always talk about how important chunk plays are. He's still capable of getting chunk plays as well as contested balls.
No doubt.
So
we saw plenty of them last year. 66 yards against Cleveland, 86 yards against Dallas, and in the playoff game, taking a bubble screen, breaking a tackle, and going 58, 59 yards for a touchdown. Sure.
Okay, so I'm going to say 2 games.
Ooh.
Even though I understand what you're saying, 1 is actually a lot. And,
it is a lot.
2 is a stretch, but it could be when you're talking about closely contested games and you're at the end of the game where you need that guy. And so I'm saying his value to this team is much more than he would be for other contending teams. So I'm going to say 2 games, and I know it's a stretch, but I think he is that valuable to this team. And look, I think anything that doesn't have a 3-0 million at least is kind of almost an insult to his value to this team.
Okay, thanks for the call as always, Skip. The only thing that I would say when you say the value for this team is that in many ways their thought process may be he's much more valuable to a team that doesn't have an elite quarterback. He's much more valuable to the teams that have guys like Geno Smith and Dak Prescott and Kirk Cousins. He's not starting anymore, obviously. Jared Goff, okay? With the elite level quarterback, and that's what we have here. And I think they believe that's what we have here. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow. I mean, Burrow's got an unbelievable supporting cast, but especially as a dual threat elite quarterback, just elevates everything around it. Everything around it. I think that the other part that I didn't mention is what would be missed off the field. He'd be missed in that locker room. He is a culture guy. He is a leader on the team. But, man, this team is stacked with veteran leadership. Everywhere you look, Bobby Wagner, Zach Ertz, add Von Miller now into the mix. I know he just got here. They have a lot of that everywhere you look. Let's go to Cato. Cato, thanks for holding. What would life look like without Terry? Try to quantify it if you can.
4 games. Why I say that, you look at the Dallas game last year with Mariota, he caught the winning pass to that, so that's 1 game. You look at the Cincinnati game, he caught that big pass down the end, that's 2 games. You look at the Detroit game, Jaden only threw a 2-yard pass. He took it the other 58, 56 yards. So it was him. Yes, does he have an elite quarterback? Yeah, he does, but the elite quarterback needs somebody to throw to because he can't do it all. If he could do it all, they'd have been in the Super Bowl and won it. So he can't do it all.
Yeah. Well, the opponent had something to do with that, and so did the defense. But you're right. Mahomes may have elevated them just a little bit further.
Ridiculous. It's 4 games. He's a 4-game guy. All the things that he can do and be over.
Nobody's a 4-game guy.
Here's the biggest thing. It's new chemistry. I don't know what can happen this year and how good that offense can be because it's new chemistry. People that haven't been there. Debo don't even last the whole year. So I'm not sure. If you let Terry not be there, I don't know who you go to when Debo goes down.
So a couple things. First of all, I love your passion. No player in the NFL has a war, for the lack of a better description, or an expected points added of 4 games net difference, except for quarterbacks. But with that said, going back to the games that you pointed to last year, look, if Terry doesn't catch that ball, they still likely win the game. They kick a field goal, they're up
Dallas
8.
Or Cincinnati?
The Cincinnati game I meant. Did I say Dallas?
Okay.
My fault. The Cincinnati
okay.
game, they still probably win that game. The Dallas game at the end was, two teams. Washington's playing for seeding, but it wasn't like Dallas had their best and Washington put their backup quarterback into the game, et cetera.
He caught the winning ball.
Okay. Well, somebody else could have caught the winning ball too. I mean,
but they didn't. We're going with facts.
No,
Terry caught it.
But they would have to if he weren't there. So you got to determine, could somebody else have caught that game-winning touchdown pass from Marcus Mariota had he not been there? I'd say yes.
Caught it. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the chemistry. I like the team. I'm a Commander, Redskins, Washington football team fan. I just believe that Terry needs to be there. At over $30 million, no. $30 million, yes. That's all.
I'm with you. This has nothing to do with how I feel or how any of you feel about him being there or not being there. I think everybody wants Terry signed to a fair contract extension, and he's happy, the team's happy, and we have our best receiver and one of the top 3 players perhaps on the football team out there for not just this year, but beyond. But I'm just trying
here's my last thing I want to say.
Sure.
I think Terry should be at camp. I know what he's going through. I know what he's fighting for, but he should be in camp, period. That way it would make it harder on the management. I just think Terry should be in camp. I'm not mad at him for it, but my opinion is he should be there at camp.
I hear you. Thanks, Cato. Appreciate the call. Ryland, Steve, Bay, TC, Greg, stay on hold. What would life look like without Terry? Try to quantify it in terms of how many fewer games do you think they would win in 2025 if he were not a part of the roster? He's going to be. I understand this. But I do want to kind of gauge the value you think Terry brings to the team. I say it would cost them 1 game max, tops. The quarterback is the reason they won 12 more than anything else last year. Without Jaden Daniels and Terry McLaurin on the field, they would have won 6 games last year, 7 games last year. That's what the quarterback means. I don't think a wide receiver, no matter how good that wide receiver is, especially playing with a quarterback that elevates everything around it, I just don't think it's more than a game. And quite honestly, I think it's probably a wash.